Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back yet again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys. And today I will be talking about a fragrance that is basically at the top of the polls pretty much right now. I'm listening to you guys. So this one was unanimously voted as, you know, the top on-demand fragrance for me to review. So I cannot wait to do that, guys. I've got a full hack on this fragrance. Hope you guys are excited. Let's get it. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, especially that we are headed towards 22,000 subscribers and beyond. So please continue to support the channel, guys. Deep dive into my videos, my old videos. We got over 700 no hype reviews and counting of all the fragrances, or most of the fragrances that you guys are looking for or looking to buy. So hope you enjoy the channel. Let's go. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than Amouage Reflection 45 Man. Yes, Reflection 45 Man, guys. Okay, again, this is one of the most demanded right now for me to review. It actually outshined all the other new stuff that I was planning to review. You guys want me to talk about this for a reason. Now, this fragrance obviously is the extrait version. Amouage has been doing that. I had my facts twisted on my jubilation video, guys. I'm so sorry. This, I believe, was the first one. This is the extrait of course, one of the legendary Amouage fragrances that put the brand on the map, Reflection Man, which I do have a full bottle of. I use it quite a lot, and this is where I'm at when it comes to the full bottle. I reviewed this a really long time ago. Now, Reflection 45 Man, again, is the extrait de parfum. It's supposed to be a lot more denser, a lot more potent, guys. I mean, that's on paper is what they say. But there's a lot of things when it comes to extrait versions of fragrances. The big question, of course, is how does that compare to the original? Especially if you guys have grown to love Reflection Man like I did. What is the difference between that and 45? Should you just go straight to 45? Can you own both? Those are the things I'm going to talk about. And of course, some feedback that I will address, such as performance. Some people are saying this is a weak fragrance, and some people are also saying that this is apparently a more macho version of the original Reflection Man. So I cannot wait to talk about this right here, guys. Let's go spray this thing right now. I'm out. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here. Amouage Reflection 45 Man, the extrait version of the classic Reflection Man. Now, this sample right here, yes, I have been wearing this fragrance a lot. That's why it's kind of like on its last legs. I got this from DUSTINS, and DUSTINS is a niche fragrance decanter. And I'm going to say this, that when it comes to DUSTINS, his specialty are more expensive perfumes than your average. And that quite matters because obviously you don't want to dump like $500 to $1,000 into a fragrance that you're not really going to like or you're not really going to wear. And so DUSTINS is my guy when it comes to that. Bodicia's, Amouage extraits that are, again, 500 and up. He's the man that you can get these decants for. 5 ml, 10 ml. You can actually spray and use a lot if we're talking about a 10 ml. Okay, I talked about that in a separate video. So he's the man. I will link his Google account below where you can kind of like check out what kind of fragrances he has. DUSTINS, thank you very much again. Okay, guys, now let's get into the scent itself. Let's go hack Reflection 45 Man. Now, before I start, you know, from the get-go, I want to answer a very big question about the comparison between 45 and the OG. First and foremost, does 45 smell so like completely or totally different from the OG Reflection Man? The answer is no. Okay, so right here, right from the get-go on first spray, this fragrance will still remind you, if you own the OG, will still remind you of the OG Reflection Man. Now, the OG, like I said, was leaning towards a combination of airy white florals mixed with some greenness and a little mild spice right here. Now, here on this one, 45, actually you get a more potent version of it. And not only that, but you also get a lot more body in this opening, all right? So right here in the opening, you're going to get the notes of lavender. You're going to get juniper. You're going to get clary sage, all right? You're going to get some aromatics right here. But it doesn't really take out the fact that the white florals, the key white florals that the OG Reflection Man has, such as neroli, is still gonna be there. Jasmine and neroli are still gonna pop up pretty much in the opening to mix with all these nice aromatics of lavender. And the greenness, like I said, is added in by the juniper as well as the clary sage. Now, for me, the big thing, okay, so that was out of the way. I was like, okay, at least it smells like Reflection Man. It didn't smell different. But the big thing for me was that this one had a more abundant amount of spices with your pink peppercorn and your cardamom, which came out kind of like a powdery spicy mix. And then you had a base of amber, basically, all right? Now, this part right here, you may not notice it until maybe you check the notes or like you wear it a couple times. But for me, when I checked it and I wore it a couple times, I was like, wow, this intro had a base of amber. And of course, it's well blended in. You're smelling a lot of the aromatics and white florals along the way. And let me tell you that I really believe this one is also a core scent, meaning the mid notes beam out pretty much in the opening, because within, I would say like 15 minutes, I could already smell the iris, which mixed in with the cardamom. But anyways, point is, this one was a lot more spicier, a lot more aromatic. It had a body of amber right from the get-go. And so this explains why a lot of people consider this fragrance a lot more masculine than the OG. And for a lot of people, I mean, this is common feedback with the OG Reflection Man, is that they thought it was a risk wearing it. And a lot of people were actually afraid of wearing the OG Reflection Man out. And, you know, with them having the fear of other people thinking, oh, this guy's wearing a very feminine fragrance. I mean, I haven't had that issue. I never had that issue because, like I said, this fragrance, the OG, had, you know, some stuff that was kind of like more complex and more unisex, but it also had green pieces and spices. And so for me, like, it was kind of like this clean scent that had a floral vibe, the OG guys. Now, with this one, I would say that this leans more masculine, and it does use notes like juniper and clary sage and lavender to take the standard Reflection Man aroma into a much more masculine one, plus added spices, plus added well-blended amber. So that is what I can say. If you are looking for a much more masculine version of the OG, then you might want to look into 45, guys. Now, let's look at the OG. Why would the OG be a better pick, though? And for me, the reason is that the OG is a lot more airier. The OG Reflection Man, obviously, because of a lighter composition without a lot of curved notes, projects a lot stronger, is a lot airier, is a lot more aromatic, I would say, with a scent trail. And so I really figure that a lot of mainstream heads will still pick Reflection Man for this reason. But again, there are some people that will think, oh, this might smell feminine or complex or mature. This one right here, 45, yes, in terms of sillage and projection, is not as airy as the first one. It's not as light. However, it is still a consistently strong draw-in scent. And it's a lot more masculine, like I said, with draw-in properties of amber and spices and greens. And so, yeah, I would say that they are kind of different to that degree, but they have their own strengths as well. So again, initial sillage and projection, this is a lingering, draw in scent. It is not weak whatsoever. It's just different because it has a much more heavier and potent composition than the OG. Okay guys, now let's talk about the mid of Amouage Reflection 45 Man. Now, a lot of the pieces of the mid are actually core notes that beam to the top almost instantaneously. Again, white florals, neroli, and jasmine beam up almost immediately. And then right here on the mid, the iris and the angelica, which is a sweet, earthy, and musky note, comes up as well really early. 15 minutes into the fragrance, guys, you will start smelling that iris. You will start smelling that angelica mixed in this intro. That's why the Reflection Man total overall smell really smells very complex. Like I said, it's not easy to decipher. But again, white florals, iris, it gets clean and nice with some musky, sweet angelica root. Comes in here, classic Reflection Man. And of course, in the latter mid is where you get the notes of tonka bean as well as vanilla. All right, so you can really feel that. I would say maybe 4 hours into this fragrance, it does get, you know, a little bit thicker, a little bit more dense with some tonka bean and vanilla sweetness indeed as a nice bridge into the dry down. Okay guys, now let's head into the dry down of Amouage Reflection 45 Man. So as I've said before, on the latter stages of the mid, you're gonna get tonka bean, which has kind of like that burnt, like tobacco sweet smell mixed in with vanilla. And that easily transitions into a much more complex dry down compared to the OG Reflection Man. And that is via incense and sweet myrrh. Okay, so you can just imagine it's like burnt, sugary tonka bean going into some nice Omani incense. And I like it because this is Amouage's like speciality, or the Omani stamp of incense right here in this fragrance. Now, it is not a heavy incense, and it is just a complex mix because you have sweet myrrh. And some people are not fans of myrrh, but myrrh and incense together in an already complex fragrance, which is already set by the start of this fragrance, I feel is good enough. It's really nice. Now, I'm going to say this though, that the ending of Reflection 45 also kind of reflects the same as the OG, because you're gonna have still the notes of sandalwood and vetiver to balance the entire experience. All right, so it's just slightly complex with some sweet myrrh and incense, but at the end of the day, you know, there's patch as well, there's cedar, but at the end of the day, you're gonna feel like the OG still, because vetiver is really a potent note in the dry down. It's a gent scent note, again, slightly sweet and earthy vetiver, plus some really smooth sandalwood, which is a big piece of the OG dry down as well. So that's what I'm gonna say. It's just slightly complex, but it doesn't take away from the OG style dry down. If you love the sandalwood and the vetiver parts of Reflection Man, the OG, you'll get the same thing here. It's just that you gotta go through some incense and myrrh along the way. Okay guys, now let's talk about my feedback on this fragrance, Reflection 45 Man, guys. Okay, first and foremost, I like this fragrance, but I like this fragrance because I like this fragrance, all right? So again, there's not really a total difference between the two in terms of the composition. This is kind of like an upgrade from this one. But then, like I said, there will be detractors saying that they like this one. I mean, of course, the cost is a big thing, but of course, we're also talking about projection, sillage, airiness. But this one right here is definitely, I would say, the much more masculine version, classier version, more complex version, if you will, more like all year round, if you will, guys. This is more like spring, summer. I think you can wear this in the fall, winter. Again, as stated, by starting off with ambery notes as well as some spicy notes, some heavier notes, guys, incense and myrrh. These are classic fall winter base notes that you get here, but make no mistake, this fragrance is also incredibly balanced. This one will still have your classic Reflection Man airy white florals. It will still have your iris And in addition, they added some lavender, some clary sage, some juniper in the mix. So again, this is, I would say, really, really balanced. It's more of an all-year scent. And I definitely see this as, I would say, the more upscale version. I mean, Reflection Man is upscale, don't get me wrong, but this is a more upscale version. And also, like I said, with the performance being a lingering draw in scent, you know, it's a much more classier approach, guys. Now, for some people, they're saying or asking, you know, is Reflection Man mature? You know, I can see that, but I think that the whole mature thing is based on the wearer. You know, I mean, it's under your discretion if you want to smell much more complex and you can face the criticism. I mean, in my opinion, more mature fragrances, I mean, these are much more complex. And if you're gearing that towards a certain crowd, if you're going to go towards the spring break crowd, like a Miami spring break crowd, that might not work. So choose your crowd wisely. If you're going to hang out with some architects or, you know, some ballet dancers, then maybe they're going to feel the artistry of this perfume. But make no mistake, guys, doesn't matter if you're like 25 or 50, you can wear Reflection 45 Man easily. Now let's talk about pricing, guys. And this is where a lot of people, to be honest, I feel will draw the line. This one right here is like $500 something. This one right here is near 300. All right. So actually, it's not really a huge difference between the two. But the thing is, as of right now, I can say that there are discounters that, you know, you can get Reflection Man a lot cheaper than $280. I've started seeing just on my laptop here, Reflection 45 kind of cheaper in other discounters. But if we look at just the official price, not the discounter price, guys, okay, this is a lot more expensive. I do suggest you try it first. Start off with 5, and if you really like it, get a 10, all right? Because, again, this one right here, the OG Reflection Man to me was kind of like a regular wear, all right? And this one, if you factor in the price, you know that, you know, in your head, you're going to wear this as a special occasion scent. It's not going to be an everyday wear. So I think that it is okay to own both, honestly. This as the grabber and the more lighter version, and this for a lot more classier or cozier style events. I would say that 45 is for that. So, I mean, to me, would I buy a full bottle? Maybe, but I would start off with a large decant to begin with, especially if you have a large collection of fragrances. I mean, again, Reflection Man is not like an always wear to me. But when I want to wear something complex, not easily understood, but smells fantastic, I go to Reflection Man for that. And 45 is a nice, again, more masculine, more full-bodied version, more classier version to add to the mix right here. And that is it. That is my no hype review on Amouage Reflection 45 Man. Again, I want to thank DUSTINS, DECANTS, Dustin for sending this over. Again, I'm going to link the Google spreadsheet below. So hit him up if you would like a decant of Reflection 45 Man. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance. Did you like this one better than this one? Or did you like this one over this one? Let me know what y'all think, because obviously a lot of y'all wanted me to talk about this. So now I want to hear from you guys on what you think about each of these fragrances, guys. Comment below. Thank you very much for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless. Take care. Peace.